What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night, 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. I got Stephen and Courtney from Leviathansnakes on the show tonight. If you've followed the channel for a while, you know I'm good buddies with them, and they've been incredible friends to me in the industry. So this show tonight should be a no-brainer to be full of content. Plus, they're super smart, incredible at marketing. I think they're big players in the Sunset Project. We'll talk a little bit about it because even if they're not, their marketing portrays that. So I think that they've been successful at it either way. It's one of those like, okay, if you say you are enough, you are. But all joking aside, I very much respect their work and what they're working on. So we're going to talk about an update on the Sunset Project. Been a while since they've been on the show as the guest. And when I say that they're aces at marketing, like college degrees in business in marketing. So we're going to talk about marketing in tough times and how far you take it and some strategies with that. And then to get really nerdy, if you're still hanging around by the end of the show, I wanted to pick apart market segments. I think it's a little bit too simplified to say there's the pet trade and the breeder trade. There's a huge spectrum in there, and I wonder if there's value in how we reach each of those or specializing in various portions of those markets. So we're going to get into all of that tonight, so stick around. I got my usual announcements. First, I always regret and then I neglect this. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys get here early. It's really cool. There's 22 of you out of the gate, and I'm just humbled and flattered by it. And I always kind of give myself a pass. I say, I'm not great with doing the shout outs and seeing everybody in the audience in the chat. But on the other hand, without you guys, I could just talk into a mirror and listen to myself talk forever, or go have a beer with Stephen and Courtney up in South Carolina. So it's good to see everybody. I really, really value you all. Many of you in different ways. And but I do enjoy it. And I've gotten to know a whole lot of y'all. For example, I was just talking to Smoky Mountain Balls before the show on Instagram. Tito, I do a lot of business, Tradesman Exotics here in town with. He, thank God, my collection may literally not exist without his rodents that he provides for me. So that's a huge deal to me. And then Shane from Small Town Exotics comes in and just types first after there's been like 15 comments ahead. So I'm not sure if he quite gets first. I'm not sure. Stephen and Courtney can ask him about it down the line. What's up, Kai? Snakes for the memories. Always good to see y'all. More Forge up in, was that Wisconsin, Minnesota? Stout folks heading into wintertime. You know what I mean? In spirit and soul, not in your body. I have no idea what you look like. Stout folks. So watch my mouth. I got to say thanks to everybody. A lot of people share the show thumbnail. I'm really again, I just got to say I'm humbled by it. Like this whole build a presence and then it grows and snowballs and exponentially spirals is true. It's happening. That's what's happening. So thank you all very, very much. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Before I became a father, Thanksgiving was my very, very favorite holiday. That has been superseded by the joy in my son and family's eyes on Christmas morning. But I love Thanksgiving. It's a very special time for me, strong family traditions for myself. And I got to partake in those this year because I wasn't running restaurants and in operations. And as much as I cherish those memories, it was really fantastic to get back and spend a Thanksgiving with my family. I hope you all got to do a little bit of the same. And then, of course, Friday rolls around and there's the deals and all of that. I took the plunge. 2023 will be the year that I start vending one way or another. And to force myself into doing it, I took the plunge and I bought two sets of ARS displays for vending. So I'm pretty excited about that. I thought I would get a Black Friday deal, but it was only on their ARS racks. But when you're already have your mind set to it, what's another 10%? Let's let it rip, So those are on the way. And I had targeted January. This is a funny, a little bit of a personal story, but it's kind of funny how the world works. I get a kick out of it anyhow. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, I order the displays. I look on my calendar, and there's a reptile show in Jacksonville on January 14th, and that's a Show Me Snakes show, I believe. And then I look, and the Repticon in Orlando, which is always a fantastic show, is also on January 14th. So I was like, let's get the displays. I'll try and get into the Orlando show, but if that sells out, then I'll definitely do the Jacksonville show. I'll get my feet wet. And I'm there, and I went to Destin, Florida. It's over in the Panhandle. Those of y'all that don't know Florida, which there's no reason for you to know Floridian geography if you're not from here. Anyway, there in a strange series of events, there's a music festival there called the 30A Songwriters Festival. And I played there last year, and I played at the festival. I was lucky enough to be included in that. And I got a call from, it wasn't a call, it was a conversation from a booking contact with the festival saying, hey, are you available January 14th, 2023 for the festival this year? They didn't offer me the gig yet, but they said they'd let me know this week. So now, I don't know when I'll get to vend or how it'll all work out. That's a killer songwriters festival, though. Headline this year: Lyle Lovett, Steve Earle, and the Gin Blossoms. Like, how cool is that for a lineup? So I will be happy anywhere that I land, but January 14th will be a fun weekend in 2023. Speaking of fun weekends, and family things. I have an amazing family situation, which is amazing, and it's special, that I'm not going to go into detail on. But I cannot be here next Tuesday night. It'll be the first time that I've not done a show on a Tuesday night. I've only ever missed one other one in some 16 months now. But I'm going to make it up to you. It's going to be on Wednesday night next week. So next Wednesday will be December 7th, next Wednesday, December 7th, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And the man himself, Garrick DeMeyer, is going to join the show. So, okay, we missed Tuesday, but we got Garrick on Wednesday. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I don't get lost in too much of the celebrity stuff. It's not a huge thing to me. But I'm really looking forward to Garrick. He seems so down to earth, hardworking. He's going to have huge insight and obviously hugely influential. If you don't know who he is, check out Garrick DeMeyer. Royal Constrictor Designs, I believe, is the brand name on it. He's been breeding since 1993. Like, I can't wait to pick his brain on that. So that's next week. As always, be sure to check out my Morph Market, and that's Proper Royals. You can follow people on Morph Market. So, like, maybe there's nothing that I have right now, but you think, hey, maybe I'd like to support the guy if he has the genes that I want. If it comes down to me or somebody else, but we got the same genes, maybe you look my way. You can follow me on Morph Market. Another funny story from this week. I won't name names, but a good buddy locally here. He and I made some deals on some snakes, and we're going to settle up. And I asked him to send me an inquiry on Morph Market so I could get the review, blah, blah, blah. You guys know this. And he goes, wait a minute, I didn't know you had this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, keep up with it, man. All you got to do is click the little follow. So I'm very, very happy, very grateful for everything that we worked out. So check out Morph Market. Stephen and Courtney, Leviathan Snakes. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you're about to meet them. Like I said, they've been great friends really since nearly like very early day one for me. It wasn't exactly day one, but they struck me very, very early on. I've got the utmost respect for them, and they have been I think we've grown to be friends. I don't know. I got to ask them how it started. If I was just like the annoying like stranger, or if like we really hit it off. I don't know. That's a weird thing to ask somebody. But we got to hang out in Daytona a year and a half ago, and everything kind of blossomed since then. I've done many episodes. I think they've been guests on the show more than anybody else. And it's a joy to have Stephen and Courtney back. Please welcome back to the Proper Royals stage, Stephen and Courtney from Leviathan Snakes.
Friends.
How old of you two?
How are you?
We are friends, Adam.
I know we're friends now. I don't know if we were at the beginning. I know you're like, man, who is this dude? No, I'm being a little bit self-deprecating. You all have seriously, genuinely been great to me. Certainly colleagues and at times mentors. and certainly great debate partners too. Like it's cool because I think that we on a macro scope look in the same direction, and on micro things, it's like, yeah, I'm in a different situation. And you're like, you don't have to be, you could choose to be. And I'm like, no, I'm happy where I'm at. Yeah. So it's,
yeah,
that's right.
I couldn't buy a snake today. So
yeah, we almost got in a fight and we didn't.
But yeah, no, I really liked the one that we did. I think because we'd been on a guest on your show like early on, but the one that I really liked that we did was that we both took a $10,000 budget and was like, what would we do with it?
Right.
Like at the time. And I felt like that was a really good one.
I think I was sick and I was upstairs.
That one did well, and I actually piggybacked off of that and did a solo $5,000 version of that on just a traditional video, and that's like my number 4 or 5 performing video. Like, and that's one of those like evergreen things. Like we could do that again tomorrow and be like, hey, it's a whole new market. Yeah, we've done this before. Boom, we're going back to the well. You know.
I think it'd be super fun to do it. Not tonight or anything, but it'd be super fun to do it with like extremely limited budget. Like if it was like, how would we do it with $1,000?
Extremely limited.
Still like bottom feeding out there.
Yeah, I don't even know. But that's again different thing for a different time. But you're obviously like, I just think it'd be interesting.
By one female and hope for Partho.
I almost spent a lot. I just put out a video on like tough time strategy or something like that. And the stuff I was finding, I was like, man, I got to stop doing this video. I'm going to go broke and I don't have money to spend. So, hey, if people don't know you, give us a brief introduction and tell us about yourselves real fast for those that don't know you.
You want to take it?
Yeah, we are Courtney and Steven with Leviathan Snakes. We are specifically in ball pythons. We focus pretty heavily in sunset, asphalt, clown. This is going into our 3rd year producing animals, and we're also we dabble in YouTube because we had to because Steven's super into marketing and YouTube's a huge platform to be on. So a lot of our videos are on marketing. We're starting to do a little more on analytics because that's my background, and then just day-to-day kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, Phil. Leviathan who are these guys?
Right?
Yeah. What's up with this? Yeah.
Never heard of them.
So we'll jump into some of that. Let's talk about it's I can't decide if it's like the talk of like the ball python world or just our little, incestuous circle that we all see each other's posts endlessly. All right, give your pitch. For those that don't know, Chris Eaton hosts, he's the host of Snakes and the Fat Man. There it is, representing tonight. And he does this sort of year-long series of what he calls 15 minutes of lame. And he brings on, I guess, new faces, but there's some pretty established people. I think Reggie was in the audience. You all are certain. You guys got more followers. You guys got more followers than Garrick DeMeyer does. I saw that today, by the way. So not on YouTube. No, that's true. So there are known stuff, but fairly new faces. And then take us up to what's going on right now. So he hosts everybody for a year, a season, or 6 months.
Justin Kabilka actually sponsors the segment. I think it was his idea originally, from what I understand, where he wanted to give newer breeders like a little segment in Chris's show because he's a big sponsor of Chris. So he does it all year long. You get a 15-minute segment at the beginning of his 2-hour show, and then at the end of the year, everyone competes to be the winner of the 15 minutes of lame contest.
Yeah, and all of the questions, like it gets a little like specific, but there's set questions that every single contestant is asked during their 15-minute episode. And there are things like what got you into it? How much money have you spent on it? How much money have you made? Things like that. And then he also goes through like each of his sponsors, and he's like, do you have any snakes from Justin Kabilka? Which Courtney just lied and said that we did. But
no, I think I said we didn't.
But
we do not.
But
you know what? I've got one, and it's for sale. This could be a little benefit.
We could finally get that Kabilka check mark.
You can get the blue check mark.
Yeah.
We're exploiting our baby on during our campaign. So
yeah. So going on to the contest part of it. So everybody does their interview, the 15-minute interview throughout the year. And the thing is, it's a reptile show. Chris says it isn't. It's a reptile show, but it's intended to be funny. And I think that this is something that we want to say to like everybody, because especially people who've never seen the show, they're like, why do you want to be the lamest reptile breeder of the year? This doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's satire.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom. Also, I see that there are 48 people in here watching, so I expect 48 votes
For Leviathan snakes.
For Leviathan snakes specifically.
Before we lose people from your campaigning, go to Leviathan Snakes on Instagram, and the link is right there. And if you feel torn about who you should give your vote to, first vote for Leviathan. Then you can, if you remember tomorrow, you can vote again tomorrow for somebody else. Not that you would, but you could, and that's what you could do, because my middle name is Switzerland, Adam Switzerland Shira.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends coming through. You all came out of the woodwork when this contest came around. Like suddenly everybody wants to come on Proper Royals.
Jana started it. Like I'll give that. Like Jana had an amazing idea. So like the campaign is part of it. Like, all right, so the way that the contest works, because this goes into like this right here. The voting, the popular vote counts for 25% of your overall score. Okay. Then
I thought it was just take the popularity contest.
No, not anymore. It used to be, but there was issues. The very first, I don't remember which year. The first year, somebody had like used bots to like help vote for them.
That's the second year.
Oh.
Yeah, last year they used bots. The year before that, there was like a giveaway that they said wasn't
in the spirit of the contest. It was like, if you vote for me, you can get entered into a drawing for like a hurricane clown combo snake.
I mean, if he wants attention, you gotta.
So this year, the way that it's working is that there is the popular vote counts for 25% of a contestant's score. Then there are 3 judges. The 3 judges are Shane Kelly, who's in the chat. I don't know if he still is. Yeah, right there.
He's said first about 5 times.
Oh, so. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Wait, hang on. If people are handing out bribes, how come my hands are empty? Like, this is a heck of a platform. Like, come on.
We'll get to you after the show. Adam.
Yeah,
I forgot. You got my money. That's right. You got my
money. Put in a phone book and mail it to you.
Yeah.
Cut out a phone book.
Yeah.
So Shane, he was the very first winner of the entire year for Snakes and the Fat Man's 50 Minutes of Lane contest. He has some really, really cool, like I don't know if there were reels at the time, but just like videos about his campaign, and his stuff is kind of what gave us the idea, but to do them in reels. Mm-hmm. And then there was Antoine, who won the second year. He's the second judge. Never heard of him.
Well, watch our reels. We'll introduce him.
So Antoine is like, he was campaigning like super hard. Like it's not just about who is the most popular person. It's like who is putting in the most work in getting it.
There's a difference. And joking aside, that's an important part. And I think some of you all should be commended for. So
Jana, from the Hold Back Rack podcast, ASM Royal Tales.
Yep.
She, right before the contest even like voting started, she, in order to campaign, went to like every single podcast, yourself included, and it was like, hey, can I do like a campaign trail with you guys? And we're like, that's such a brilliant idea. We need to steal it.
Well, yeah. So after Garrick, then Reggie for Reggie's Urban Jungle, he's in the contest. He's coming on the show, and then Andrew from Redwood. Okay. And there's been a couple others that asked, and I felt bad. They're like, where's the spot for me? I'm like, look, man, Tuesday nights, that's it. There's only so many Tuesdays from now till the end of the year, But I think we'll see some of the others. I still made good contacts, and one of these days, Shane and I will get our schedule together. We've been, I bet 6 months we've been trying to figure out when would work, and life just happens, I get it. So
but Tag's in the chat. I've seen him. He's also in the contest.
So I don't know if he's still in here, but Jake from the Ophidarium, I actually am not sure how it's pronounced, but Jake Hole from the Ophidarium, he's put out some reels. He's not a contestant or anything. His reels are hilarious.
They're so funny.
They made my day the first time I saw him. And his just regular everyday reels are great. So if y'all don't follow him, check him out on Instagram. OPHI, and then I don't know how to spell it.
So
comment, man.
Besides, like, we're campaigning for votes as everybody else is, and we will shamelessly shill in order to get your daily votes. But we also really, really want to pander to those judges because their votes. Oh, the last judge is Donato, who is friends with Chris. He was with him during the Eyeballs days.
Okay.
So the judges each have their vote at the very end. That their individual vote is worth 25% each. So between the three judges, that's 75% of the score. It more than outweighs the popular vote. So the judges, there was a live that Chris did. I don't know if we'll send you the link if you want to add it to the description. You don't have to. Where all the judges
actually, you don't have to go to Instagram. It's in the description. It's already there. Your link tree is in the description down below. Just click on that, and it's the very first link in the link tree. There we go.
So the judges all like stated like what they are looking for, and for the most part, it's not. The judges have said that they are not necessarily voting for somebody that they're friends with, or as like I think Antoine had said, I'm not just going to vote for you because you're black, like, which I thought was pretty funny. But
so he's not going to vote for us because hey,
yeah, right.
I would fire back, but I'm afraid of you. So
yeah,
it's weird. I feel like Andrew is pulling slightly ahead of where he was. This is exciting times. I'm liking the moves that are made.
The bribe.
He keeps paying. Yeah, I've noticed him drop in 1999s a couple times to insult.
You know what? I've heard of some things going on in the DMs, but Andrew slips it right in plain view. This is great. All joking aside, thank you very much, Andrew. That is really, really generous. Anybody who contributes, if you haven't heard my spiel before, any of that money goes to taking care of the snakes so that I can focus on content and figuring out all the little things I can do to bring better content each week. So here is the stopping point because I refuse to turn my show into a full commercial.
Yeah, this is not for Chris Eaton. This is for us, Adam. Vote for us. That's all that matters.
Chris is a brilliant genius. He has us all working. I'm not even in the contest, and I'm working for the guy. So look, go vote for Leviathan Snakes. Follow them on Instagram. You're all joking aside and snide, cynical stuff aside. Your reels are absolutely commendable. The effort you all have put into it is great. And I'll just leave it as a teaser of your impressions of Shane and Antoine today were just bang on the head, man. Just nailed it, I gotta say. So
I'll pat myself on the shoulder for that.
Yeah. Go check that out.
Not talking about necessarily the contest or Chris, but making the reels is so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Doing this contest, we are having such a good time coming up with these ideas, figuring out what is going to be funny, what works, what doesn't work, what is like too on the nose or too obscure. So like one of us will have an idea, we'll back and forth. We're like blue skying a TV show is how it feels like in the writer's room.
It's a lot of fun.
What's great about it, first, is you're nailing it, you're hitting it. But second, I've always felt that YouTube or even this platform, within reason, is a great place to experiment. Like, what do I really have to lose if a segment bombs tonight? Nothing. I don't know. I'll hit it next week. I'll edit it out. I'll take it down. Whatever. I got nothing to lose. And that's just this like great freedom that I'm really happy with. So, hey, look. You guys got 64 people in here right now.
64 votes.
Yeah. We should see 64 votes. And what's the expression? Your milkshake brings them all to the yard. Like, this is great. Yeah. Before we jump into the heavy content, really quickly, speaking of people that do take care of me, wherever the pointing is, REDLINE shipping. You guys, if you haven't used it, you should know all about it. If you haven't, Robin Markland, just go check it out. It's a better experience, a better price. Use the promo code PROPER5. If nothing, PROPER5. If nothing else, they've been excellent to me, and I can honestly say, without hesitation, looking you straight in the eye, I was a customer before we ever did business together. It's a great arrangement that way. Very similarly, Cold Blooded Cafe, if you use frozen rodents, passionately believe you should not even look anywhere else for your frozen rodents. They have the fastest freezing time in the industry. They raise all of their own rodents, and they're not on any farming contracts, which the other biggest players in the game are. Go check them out. And they have a promo code as well. It is CBC, as in Cold Blooded Cafe, CBC5. I'm going to save you $5 on your next order. If you missed out on Black Friday, it was like 40% off, but still go check them out. Don't mess around with the health of your animals on that. Lastly, Mr. Jeremy Baud, Baud's Exotic Reptiles. What a good dude, right? I just realized I had the shirt on. I didn't even plan it. Jeremy has been a great friend, a great mentor, continues to support the show, continues to support Proper Royals. Check out Jeremy Baud. If you don't know, look, all right, he just hatched a Desert Ghost clown that he created, not that he shelled out 12 grand for. So, like, that's the caliber of stuff this dude's working with. I think he's got 40 or 50 snakes on Morph Market right now. Go check him out. Speaking of high dollar snakes, Sunset Project. What do you guys got going on? We haven't talked in a while. Go ahead. You look like you jump in.
Okay. We don't have to do this right now, but I do have to say I may have made a promise on your behalf that somebody may have talked about in the chat. We can talk about that later, though. Yeah. So
no, let's figure this out, because I work really hard to keep the show, basically rated G, but PG. But if there was a certain animal's excrement, that is what I would be screaming right now about. What is this lie that you posted about? You guys are like one step from like Congress people, and
we're aiming for the White House in 2024. Yeah. So we got to get started now.
You're gonna practice. So what was this lie that I didn't?
Okay.
Guys, I had no idea this was out there. What are we talking about here?
So, in order to maybe draw some extra attention to the show, we might have told everybody that you might have promised that you would shave either your beard or an eyebrow during the show tonight. And there was about...
It was pretty close.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Wait, hang on. You did like a vote, like a survey.
Yeah, you should watch
How much time does that take to do?
Not that long. But yeah. So there's a poll, and we will give the results of the poll at the end of the show, so that way we figure out. So anybody who's in here right now who wants to vote on which one he gets shaved, go to our story on Instagram and vote. Beard or eyebrow. At the end of this live, we will figure out who the winner is.
And Adam will shave.
No, I can tell you with absolute certainty. Like, I'm looking for jobs right now. I can't go up to an interview with half an eyebrow, okay?
Not half an eyebrow, a whole eyebrow.
Or a whole eyebrow missing.
If you don't do it, Steven has to.
I mean...
Well, okay. Steven, you with just the mustache would be a very apt punishment for this.
Oh, no, you're shaving the mustache, too. I'd rather him shave the eyebrow than leave.
All right, end of the show. Go vote now. At the end of the show, we'll say the results. We'll say how many people voted for it, and then we'll figure out what's going on. So...
Sunset Project.
Yeah, Sunset Project.
Steven tried to expand to that more today.
Courtney got mad at me today.
And I got to give you one heads up. I don't know how in-depth you watched the show last week, but I got this inspiration out of the blue last week. Actually, for the 15 minutes of lame, I was like, you know what? I need a segment. I don't have segments on my show. So I'm going to do segments, and I call it Top 5. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to ask you your top 5 on a very specific question, and you get 5 uninterrupted minutes. Now, Steven, your challenge is going to be to only talk 4 minutes and 59 seconds on a topic.
And give me.
I know you're like me. Like, that's why I have a show. I get to talk to you. So we'll get the top 5. Let's do it at the top of the hour. 9 p.m. We'll do the top 5. Now let's talk about Sunset. So I didn't look at the date on the last time you'd been on the show, but it certainly was before hatchling season. Tell us what you bred this year, where you're at, and a little bit of the history on the Sunset Project for yourselves.
Okay, so this year was our first year producing sunsets and het sunsets. And we produced all of our sunset stuff from one male. It was a visual single gene sunset male who was my favorite snake that we owned. We bought that male literally as soon as he came out of the egg. He had not had a meal yet, and we got him from Brock Wagner.
Yeah, Steven Googled. He didn't there was no sunsets available. So he Googled, where can I get a sunset ball python? And
His website.
His website, which looked like Craigslist in 1998, came up.
And he had his phone number on there.
He got that money, right?
It was rough. The website hadn't been updated in like 2 years.
So when I talked to him about it, he's like, where'd you find me? I was like, your website. Or I said, we were on your website and saw you used to have sunset stuff, because we were fresh into the thing at the moment, into the hobby. Right. And he's just like, my website's still up?
Was that the snake, the very first one that you picked up at Daytona?
No.
2021? No.
We had him shipped, the first one.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So he's my favorite snake. Brock is an amazing dude. We really, really like Brock Wagner. If anybody is interested in getting into the Sunset Project, he will take care of you. Him and Brad are partners on their Sunset Project. They are amazing people. I cannot recommend them enough. But anyway, so that's how we got into the project. We got a hatchling male fresh out of the egg. We grew up the hatchling male, and this was the first season that he was big enough to breed. So we paired him to 5 different females. The females that we paired him to were a red stripe yellow belly, a clown, just single gene clown, a normal het sunset, an ultra male female, and a pastel inchy chocolate desert ghost female. And the last 2 females, those were actually collaborative breeding projects that we did with our friend Troy from Balls and Strikes. So we split those 2 clutches 50-50. And we got awesome odds on everything.
Did they all go?
Yes, every single one of them went.
Wow, so you went 5 for 5 on your sunset pairings.
Yeah, we have an ultrasound, which really, really helped us out too.
Sure.
I think every single female that we paired that was building, like was over 10 millimeter follicles, went, and there was only one other one that was like lower than 10, and we paired just to see if she would build, and she never did.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think we end up doing 14 clutches this year, including the 2 collab ones.
That's great. So and where? So you said you hit some great odds. So where, like, don't take us through like every clutch, but like, what were some of the highlights, and what are the what's your holdback situation? I've heard you're a hoarder. You keeping them all?
A little bit. Not horrible, but yeah, I'm a little bit of hoarder, and I want to hold back a lot of stuff. I want to hold back more than Courtney wants to hold back. So right now, because I've made some notes on it, including all of our sunset animals, sunset or het sunset, we have 24 animals that are sunset or het sunset right now, and that's including some of the holdbacks. So we have, of those 24, we have 6 males and 18 females.
You went 3 out of 4 on all of those, 75%. Holy cow.
Yeah. We did really well. These are what we held back. We also sold a bunch of stuff for the Sunset Project. The Sunset Project has been our most financially successful project by far.
Sure.
So from these clutches, I'll go off of the 3 that we did originally. So we had red stripe yellow belly to our sunset male. We had 6 eggs from that clutch. We ended up holding back 1 male, which was red stripe yellow belly het sunset male, and 1 red stripe het sunset female, and then all the other ones sold. Like, they're all sold on payment plans. They're all gone already.
Right.
We were super stoked for that one. For our clown clutch, we got we had 9 eggs from that one. We ended up getting 6 females and 3 males. So
you got double hets on those.
Yep, and we ended up holding back 1.4 double het sunset clowns, and then the pair, the 2.2, they're both sold.
Where are you going to put the red stripe yellow bellies into? Where's that long-term picture going?
So right now, as far as we know, nobody's made the red stripe sunset yet. And the yellow belly sunset looks incredible. Like, Brad has them, Brock has them, Winston has them. There's yellow belly sunsets look amazing.
Yeah.
So our goal is, we have this year, she's about 1,400 grams right now, but she's young. She's like 18 months right now. So she turns 2 in June. We have a leopard sunset female that most likely we're going to end up pairing the red stripe yellow belly het sunset to her, to try to make red stripe yellow belly leopard visual sunsets, because he's most likely going to be the first male that we produced this year that's up to size, because he was from the first clutch of the Sunset ones.
Yeah.
But I am really excited to see what Red Stripe looks like in it. I'm hoping that it looks really, really cool. So hopefully it goes well.
Well, I think it will. And so why I ask is I've seen some of the Sunset clowns, and they're amazing animals, of course. If I had a wish, it would be similar to a lot of clowns that would keep their contrast a little bit longer. In my opinion, I haven't seen an adult one, so I don't know for sure, but it looks like that pattern's going to get lost. But I think a red stripe yellow belly clown, I think red stripe and yellow belly, along with fire for that matter, do amazing things for the contrast and the colors, specifically in clowns, like pastel specifically in pieds. I think is amazing. Pastel in clowns, I'm trying to get pastel out of my clowns kind of deal. So I was wondering, but I think down the line, that red stripe, I think you're onto something with red stripe and yellow belly. If you were to get those into your clown Sunset project.
Yeah, 100%. And more Forge had mentioned Lace Sunset. I want to do Lace Sunset so bad. Like Lace
That's gotta be some nice contrast and brightening too, huh?
Yeah, Lace is the project that we are not in right now that I want to get in the most. Lace.
Yeah, I think I'm on Lace, Cypress. I actually got a deal for a mahogany, so that little itch is scratched.
I love mahogany.
I do too. I got a sweet mahogany pied coming in, which I'm excited for, and that'll go. I finally have some momentum going on my pied project, so that'll be really cool. In that, what do you see on? Actually, speaking of mahogany, what would you see in some of those darker brown genes? So, like we all talk about, like the leopard, the acid, really dark genes. And then, of course, there's the brightening ones. But there's kind of that sweet spot of some of those browns in the middle now, too.
I agree. I personally think that the dark morphs like GHI, like leopard, like things like that, cinnamon, on their own, depending on exactly what they are, they can look really.
Steven, second, Shane, thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks for being a good friend and putting up with our shenanigans. Have a good night. Be safe. All that. Thanks for hanging out tonight, Shane.
See you later, Shane friend.
All right. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. So the I think that the dark morphs look really good in Sunset, and really the videos that made me like fall in love with the morph were the videos that Brian Cusco did, showing off the cinnamon inchy sunsets. I think that they look amazing.
Yeah. And she kind of fits in that sort of. I guess I'm thinking of the brown with the orange of the sunset. Those tones I would feel like would do great, but I don't know how the contrast holds over time.
Yeah, I think that the dark morphs are going to be like critical to Sunset. I think the dark morphs combined with a morph like Inchy or Yellow Belly that can like supercharge the like bright parts of it. I think that that's what's going to like look amazing in Sunsets. So for this year, actually, they've already locked once. One of our pairings this year is our Sunset male to a Mahogany female, because I want to work Mahogany into Sunset.
Oh, cool. There it is right there. Like you already had it going. I didn't even know that you were working that way. Nice. Very cool.
Other than that one, so that's the clowns. Those were all like just normal double hets. The ultramales, those are all normal double hets. For the Sunset to the normal het Sunset.
Sorry, 1 second here. Oh, geez.
You don't want to find love?
I mean, it's the wrong place, right? All right. Here we go. And they're gone. Sorry for that interruption. Sorry, everybody, for even putting that on the screen. There we go.
So I think that the dark stuff will look good in Sunset. The Sunset to Clown, those were all normals. The Sunset to Het Sunset, we did hit our first visual sunsets, which I was stoked about it. But those are all normals or just single gene visual sunsets. I'm stoked about them. But the Ultramel, also normal double het sunsets. The Pastel Inchy Chocolate Clutch, though, that one was awesome. From that one, we got really good odds. There was 3 males and 4 females. We split the clutch 50-50, and Troy got the extra egg in it based off of like how the odds played out for the other clutch. So we got a inchy chocolate double het desert ghost sunset male, an inchy chocolate double het sunset desert ghost female, and a chocolate double het sunset desert ghost female. He got a pastel inchy chocolate double het sunset desert ghost female, an inchy chocolate double het sunset desert ghost female, a inchy chocolate double het sunset desert ghost male, and an inchy double het sunset desert ghost male.
I gotta hang out with you guys. Like that's what I need to do. I need to go and like I need to have something you need and just make a little drive to South Carolina and we'll go hang out. And I'm gonna sneak my boy into your female sunsets, and we'll have a little partnership all of a sudden. All right, take us 3 years ahead. What are your we in breeders, we always talk about having a plan, working towards a goal. That's a lot of codoms you got flying around in this project. So what are like one or two of the projects that you're working towards that you'd like to see with the resources you produced this year?
So again, we don't know how the odds will be, but 3 years from now, as long as all of them grow and they're up to size, we will have a shot at making super inchy we will have a shot at making super inchy, super chocolate sunset desert ghosts. Very, very long odds. We will have
and I'm sorry, hang on. Super inchy, obviously, not obviously, I'm very familiar with that, and I like that. That's a striking pattern, probably one of the best like codom striking patterns that you can get without jumping into recessives. What does a super chocolate do?
So chocolate, I wasn't super familiar with chocolate. It is in the same complex with spot nose and Wookiee and Cypress. They're all allelic with each other. But chocolate is a darker morph. If you were to look on it, like a single gene chocolate looks like a very, very dark, I don't want to say normal because it's not normal. The pattern's completely pixelated and wonky and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it has really strong, rich blushing. So it's like deep browns, blacks, and then like a really warm kind of blushing that comes up in the blacks. And what I'm hoping, I don't necessarily know, that with sunset, that it's going to turn it into like really rich reds. Like,
yeah, that would be, I mean, that's kind of like the magic bullet that we've all been looking for in breeding, right? Like Ozzy's gotten close with the oranges. Oh man, who was the one? Was it the Florida Reptile Ranch that produced that just almost completely orange snake a while back? Yeah, but we've never really hit those reds. Like we've found some of the pigments, but we haven't found out how to like capture that lightning in the bottle.
It's super, super long odds. That'd be like hitting an all gene animal from a double het to double het pairing. That's winning the lottery kind of thing. We'll be stoked to hit a sunset DG. Like if that happened, like,
but if you have, the right balance of males and females over the next few years, it's sure out of the gate. Yeah, it's a long time, but you can, 3 years on a project like this is nothing, man. Like that, and you know that. So, man, that would be cool.
Other one that we want to go towards is the Sunset Freeway. That's another one we're working towards. So that's part of the reason why we. So our leopard sunset female, we bought her as a leopard sunset. She's the one we picked up at Daytona when we met. So when we got her,
interesting trivia question. If anybody ever wants to win a bar bet, when you're talking about me drinking beers, because that's probably what everybody does. My very first picture on Instagram ever on my account was that sunset that you picked up that year at Daytona. Yeah, that was the very guys, because you always, the old imposter syndrome. Like, what do I have that everybody wants to see? I'm like, I don't know, but they want to see that. So that's what I'll put on there.
So for that girl, interesting story about her. She was the very first leopard sunset that was ever produced. Brad Boa produced her. He produced her in a clutch. It was a leopard Mojave yellow belly het sunset male to an inchy het sunset female. And in the clutch, I don't remember exactly the total eggs, but the three visuals was a leopard Mojave yellow belly inchy sunset that they held back. There was a leopard No, there was a Mojave Inchy yellow belly sunset that Justin Kabulka bought, and then there was the leopard sunset that we bought. And it was the very first one that was ever produced. And after we had gotten that snake, captive bred reptiles, Luke and Ryan, they had hit the sunset pied. And they hit the sunset pieds from a leopard double het sunset pied to a leopard double het sunset pied. That's also where they proved out that leopard has the homozygous form of leopard has a different phenotype, which proves that it is incomplete dominant.
Yeah. If we want to open that can of worms, which I really don't, other than to say, you got to check out those two snakes. If you're doubtful that there's a visual super leopard, at least with sunsets, there is a super leopard, man. I actually, why it stuck with me, because I was like, man, more clickbait, more blah, blah, blah. And I finally watched the video. I was like, oh my gosh, that is clear as day. There's a super leopard, at least as it plays with sunset.
Because it was the one that they created, it was a super leopard 66% het pied, and I'm pretty sure they've proved it out that it is super leopard and it is 100% het pied since then.
Yeah.
But they're awesome dudes. We really, really like them. But anyways, so the leopard sunset that they produced in that clutch looked significantly different than the leopard sunset that we have. And we had at the time. So we reached back out to Brad and we're like, hey, here's theirs, here's ours. The only thing that theirs could be is a leopard sunset given the pairing. And he's like, given the pairing that yours is, I think that yours is a leopard yellow belly sunset. So the only two real options were leopard and yellow belly, or leopard and inchy. And they think that it was a leopard yellow belly. Yeah. We ended up doing the genetic tests from Morph Market to test for yellow belly to find out for sure. And the test came back negative.
Wow.
She is not a leopard yellow belly sunset. So right now we're going off of, she is a leopard sunset that just looks amazing because there's not been very many produced. So there's still polymorphism at play, but we are going to be watching out once she has a clutch for inchy, because if it was inchy, then we're like, okay, the pairing, Inchy was in the pairing. She was the first one that was ever produced. Just didn't know what a leopard inchy sunset looked like.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We don't know, but we'll find out.
That's pretty interesting. And I don't want to turn the show sideways on the testing topic, but a lot of people are getting their tests back, myself included. I know that people were asking in the audience, certainly in shows previous, but I think the total turnaround time was 6 to 8 weeks, which in breeding time is nothing. And they sent to people who had sent in tests and shed requests, they gave pretty transparent explanations of what was slowing the process down and what they've done that they believe will cure the slowdown. And they say by February, there'll be two things. One, that they have the proper equipment either fixed or in place now. And secondly, they'll be caught up on the backlog so that they can be turning around test results in 2 weeks. In one way, instant gratification really isn't necessary in a slow game like ball python breeding, but man, it feels good. Like that $65 feels way better spent when you get it quick, right? So, hey, I wish them the best. It's going to, and I think it already has, but it's going to revolutionize the industry. It's going to move things ahead exponentially fast. We're going to see quads and maybe quints in our life on recessives because of that.
I agree. And honestly, like it worked out great for you because you proved that they were het for clown. For us,
I got real bullish on the program real fast when they came back with a het for clown on my acid. Yeah, for sure.
I'm still stoked that we know without having to breed her that she is not yellow belly, because if I had thought that she was a chance of being yellow belly, I would never have paired her to a yellow belly.
That's right. That actually, that's a perfect example of data, whether it being good or bad. Honest data is always the best, and that's a perfect example with the yellow belly. What are you gonna? I mean, I'm guessing nobody's rolling the dice, going, let's see if sunset breaks through ivories the way that leopard does. I bet nobody's doing that right now. Right?
Not yet. Maybe but not yet.
You got a bigger fish to fry on that for sure.
But I'm stoked. I'm stoked for the Sunset Project. I'm stoked for hopefully what we can do. We got really, really good luck this year, which, in my opinion, and this is something that we might talk about in this one, it's up to you. I think that if you have better luck early on in your breeding thing, you are way more positioned to like excel later, like later on in your breeding career, because what you build on, like in your foundation, we're so much more.
Of course, yeah. You're always that time ahead, and I mean those are years, and every additional gene that you hit is years ahead, or depending whether you need the male or the female at the time, is always years ahead. Miguel, thank you so much. It's good to see you stopping by the show. I believe Miguel will be vending at that Orlando January 14th show. I think maybe he's going to the December one, but anyhow, check out Perfectly Engineered Reptiles. Miguel, thank you so much for the support, brother. I hope that you're well, man. Tom, I got to apologize. I thought you were being not cool to me, but you are. That's a little different. I don't think I pioneered anything. I didn't. Let me clarify. I did not pioneer anything whatsoever. Dr. Seidel, who did pioneer testing for genetic testing, she is a professor at Eastern Michigan University, and it is from Dr. Seidel's work that she published that is now in the public domain, free. She did not capitalize any of this. She did not try and patent any of it. She came on the show and said it is not patentable, but she, I'm going to use the wrong genetic terms, I think, but she mapped out genes, whatever that means in that world, to where other people could use her work and now do things at scale, and that we're seeing. What's the partner of Morph Market?
RGI, Rare Genetics Incorporated.
Rare Genetics doing now. So thank you, Tom. I take back my negative thoughts, which I didn't even share, but I take those back. But no, Dr. Seidel was on the show. And matter of fact, I got to try and get back in touch with her. I tried to reach her, but here's the fact of the matter. Dr. Seidel is a researcher for the sake of research. She is a scientist, and that's her trade, not meeting the needs of the ball python community. So I don't know where her research has gone. Last I heard, she was finalizing some things on genes like Spark and finalizing the full yellow belly complex for publication in peer-reviewed journals. But Dr. Hannah Seidel, she definitely was on the show. Thanks for bringing that up, Tom. And that's been a little while. And I think all of her contact information is in the show. If not, if anybody wants her contact information, just email me and I'll give it to you. As far as I know, she is still working with her students, mapping out genetics of ball pythons. And anybody can use it. None of it's proprietary. So it's going to be, does RGI do it the best, or does some other competitor come along and figure out how to do it faster, better, cleaner, blah, blah, blah. So that's what's up. Jake at the Ophidarium, it's going to be a while. We got a while to go. Let's put it that way.
Into the show, we're going to read the results from the surveys on what's happening. And we're going to tell how many people voted for what. Not who voted for what, but...
Oh, I want names. Yeah.
You want names?
Yeah, Charlie Reagan today, he knows a little bit more. She's a legend in the community. Like, she doesn't know. There's like folk songs being written about her by ball python breeders. So, that's her. That's Dr. Seidel. So I said at the top of the hour, we would do this little top 5 segment that I have. And it's where I'm going to ask you a question that you've had no preparation for, and you don't know what's coming. And that's the truth. Much like this eyebrow shenanigans that Stephen pulled today, except he's going to answer for this in just a moment. So the next section, or the next topic I wanted to talk about was some marketing. And for anybody that doesn't know you or hasn't seen your channel, the marketing topics, the deep dives that you and Courtney do are outstanding. And I'll save everybody the headache. And Stephen is very humble about it, but he has postgraduate degrees in business focusing on marketing. And I know that Courtney has a career in analytics and with focusing on marketing. Am I overstating anything on that?
No, but
other than my kindness, that comes with the package, though.
Yeah. I mean, we both work in marketing for our professional careers.
Yeah. So this is legitimate stuff. So Steven, you got 5 good minutes, top 5. Give me your top 5 like real value for our viewers right here, right now. What are the top 5 things that somebody could do just starting out on social media to make a splash and feel like they're actually being productive? It could be so overwhelming. How do you get, what can they do to I'll leave it there, right there. Give them the top 5 things they can go do like tomorrow.
All right. First thing is focus on one platform at first. One platform. I personally think Instagram is your best one. So that's my first tip. Focus on Instagram first. It is going to be the easiest lift because you just have to you can just post pictures if you want. Reels, you can get a lot of reach. Instagram is your best bang for your buck right now. So that's my first tip. The second one is while you do need to make content, like you do need to post stuff yourself, especially at the beginning, that is not how you're going to get your growth. You will get your growth by going out and engaging with people who are already part of the community, commenting on their posts. That second tip is engage with people who are already part of the community. Make meaningful content or comments day after day on the same profiles so that we can build up the relationship and they recognize you, like multiple of their pictures. If you have a reason to reach out to them, send them a DM and start up a conversation and just be methodical about it. Do it like I'm going to spend an hour going out and doing social outreach every single day, every Monday through Friday for the first 6 months that you are building up your account. And what it will do, you're not necessarily going to get something to go viral immediately, but people will think of you as a real person and they'll start to know you specifically. And those connections are way more important. That engagement is way more important than having 100,000 followers. But you only got the 100,000 followers because somebody saw a feeding video and your reel went viral to people who aren't part of the community. So that's number 2 is organic community engagement. Do you want to interrupt my
2 seconds left?
All right, you interrupt.
No, go.
Okay, he's on fire. He's gotten through 2 in under 90 seconds. This is great.
Okay, all right. Number 3, I think that you should focus on, if you can, reels over posts on Instagram. Reels are pushed more than photos are. They also have a longer lifespan. So you can make a photo today, and after about 24, 48 hours, nobody's going to really see it, most likely. You can make a reel, and 3 weeks from now, your reel can kick off and go viral.
Important thing on the reels, keep them short, keep them simple. A lot of people, they have really great ideas and they do a lot of setup, but if people don't finish the reel and if they don't finish it and watch it again, it's not going to take off. Even some of our best reels have been just like a zoom in on a snake because people are like, what am I looking at? And they watch it 5 times and it blows up.
So 3, focus on reels. 4, use hashtags, and not just any hashtag. Do not only use hashtags that are related to your content that people are actually searching, because hashtags don't work how they used to. Now what hashtags do is they tell the algorithm what audiences are going to like your content. So if we were to do hashtag Leviathan snakes, nobody's searching for hashtag Leviathan snakes. So it doesn't tell the algorithm, hey, this is the type of person who wants to see it. Instead, do hashtag snakes, hashtags pet snake, hashtag reptiles. That's tip 4. Use hashtags, and fill them up. You don't have to use like all 30 every single time, but always use hashtags. That's how you're going to get your content out to people who are not following you. And then the last one, and I think that this is super important, and this is something that we personally we can do better on. Engage with your people who are currently following you on a consistent basis. So go out and reach out to them.
And even if you don't necessarily follow them, you can click on your follower list. You can start going through your followers and engaging on them, because it's going to make your content show up on their feed.
Yep.
If they are engaging with you. So, that's, I think, better than a follow for follow, is engage with the people who already follow you.
Can I do a not tip?
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
follow.
you're on fire. You're under a minute though now. You're coming into the 5th minute.
Okay, do not follow for follow, do not buy followers. They will wreck your account. What will end up happening is that there'll be a point where you have more fake followers or people who don't actually care about your content than real followers. And the way that the algorithm works is they're going to promote your content to a small pool of people who are following you. And if 70% of them don't care about your content, they're not going to like it. They're not going to comment on it. They're not going to watch your reel.
And bots don't buy your snakes.
Yeah. Do not buy followers. Do not follow for follow. It will ruin your account and you will not be able to reach people later on when you actually need them to sell an animal.
You need a buzzer, Adam.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, I know. I get these ideas. I'm still in beta testing. You've done great. You're in the top 2 of anybody who's ever done my top 5 before. I appreciate that. Anybody knew the joke is last week was the first one. Let me ask you though. I had a couple questions, and I'm working hard on not interrupting people because usually I like to get the answer right away. You said something to the effect of you don't have to use all 30 hashtags. Is there a limit to the number of hashtags you could put?
30.
30. I had no idea. Okay, that is useful for me. And then you said, Courtney, I believe there's a list of your followers somewhere that you have. I never figured out how you could.
No, just click on your follow. Like when you're on your Instagram page, you can click on the number of followers that you have. So like 16.6 thousand followers. You click on that. I know you can't see it. I don't know why. And it just lists all.
Nor is mine 16.6 thousand. But with all of our help
in the chat, they just followed us. I see that.
Thank you, Linka.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. I didn't even know it was a button you could push.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, yeah, you just tap on that and you can also see who you are following. You can see,
Can you see who like quit following you?
No.
There's
apps, but I don't like that.
No, I don't. So here's why I asked.
Adam's going to be.
No. It was a really strange, it was an awkward thing. I got a note out of the blue one day and somebody was like, I see you stopped following me. And I was like,
that happened to us. And it was because you were posting gross stuff on your page and I didn't want to see it anymore. They were posting dead, live feedings and deceased animals. So I unfollowed them and they messaged us 20 minutes later and was like, I see you unfollowed me. Uncool.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I look, I'm not. Here's the dirty secret of Adam's. I'm not great at the whole engagement on social media, and I wouldn't say I'm naturally an introvert, but I lean more towards introvert than extrovert, which is ironic to have a show. I know. However, I like following stories and people and relationships, and I can't have a relationship with 16,000 people. So I kind of limit what I follow, and it wasn't anything specific, but I just had to. I was honest, and I kind of explained that, and I said I don't really know you that well, and your media is just not for me. And it was like, fine, see ya. I was like, well, I don't know what to say. It wasn't for me. So anyway, that. But what's really weird is that somebody did track that with it not being readily available, right?
It could also be that they were on your account, and while they were on their account, they saw
following to,
or if they went to message you, it says whether or not you follow each other.
Could be that moment. Yeah, that's
so
true.
If they had gone to message you and they saw that you weren't following them, they could have been that as well.
Oh yeah, I don't know. So. Hey, thank you for that. All joking aside, you crushed that top 5. I would say that's kind of like the school of Leviathan snakes right there. You guys have videos on all of those topics. And so I'll tell you one thing. I was trying not to be rude when you were talking. I was logging into my phone, which now I'm trying to talk and log in, and I can't do any of it all at the same time. I've been doing a little study of my own on reels, and any reels that I have that have gone over 10,000 views, I'll cap out at 12 seconds. And I'm not known for brevity is hard for me. That's why I have an hour and a half long show, so I can ramble on 3 topics, So, but that is something I've worked at. And then you're engaging with strangers, as a work model, as like, all right, here's what I'm going to do with 15 or 30 minutes of my day every day, is absolutely fruitful. Now, I guess we can all debate how successful I am at it, because I've only got, less than 2,000 subscribers. No big deal. But I could tell you, when I apply myself in that way, they go up. I get more engagement that way than I do from a 10,000 view reel. So, what do you do in these tough times? Is this the time to just kick back and like wait for everything to play out? Is it the time to market harder? Is it the time to what do you see from a marketing standpoint? I think we can all agree it's a slower time. Is it dead? We could debate. I don't think it's dead. Is it a hard market? I think it is a hard market. There are people still buying. I was fortunate enough to sell a snake this week. Like, they're out there. What's your opinion on that right now?
So I think that this kind of ties into the segments that we can talk about later. But I'll say for us specifically, I don't think that we've noticed really any slowdown between this year and last year, us specifically selling.
Has it taken, and let me play devil's advocate or just ask, has it taken more effort? Is it because you got better quality? Is it you're better known? Is it all the sum of all the
I think it's
your parts?
I personally think, and this isn't trying to like be conceited, I think that we have been working very, very hard since the second that we decided that we are going to try to do this like as a serious business, trying to market ourselves. So we've been marketing ourselves for these specific projects that we are working with lots of different people in the hobby. And we've been doing that for 2 years straight. And I think that paid off. And I think that is why we haven't had any trouble selling any of our, like, we don't have a single, I think we have one sunset animal left right now, and we have never even posted them yet.
Yeah. Well, and I think I purposefully asked that question because you highlighted it just right. In my opinion, I think you got to work your butt off. I think there's no free rides. I think there's nothing easy. I think, what's the expression? When the tide goes out, you see who's swimming naked. Like, the tide's out right now. The people that have been working are gonna get by. Everybody's gonna get by if they want, because by and large, most of us have other jobs, and it's not our sole source of livelihood and income. So we're gonna get by, but it is tougher out there. So, okay, so that's where you led up to now. Say you put on your consulting hat, and there was somebody that maybe hasn't been working so hard, but it's because they're working 2 other jobs to pay their hobby. What do you say to them in a tough time right now that's sitting on a bunch of inventory and facing that challenge?
I think it's a very competitive market. And I think that realistically, there's only 2 ways that you're going to be able to actually get somebody to buy from you. And that is that they know you and they want to support you, or 3 ways. They know you and they want to support you. And that's marketing. That's all of the stuff that we're doing on social media. That's
right. Yeah.
You have the best price and they're specifically looking for the animal, or you are the only one in that specific platform when somebody's wanting to buy, like you're pretty much the only person there. And I think that last one isn't really an option for most people that are starting out. That's why the high-end stuff is still selling well, is because there's just not very much of it. I think that if you are new, and by new, I'm like, this is your first breeding season, you have a bunch of animals that you haven't been able to sell, I would take a look, and this isn't to be mean to anybody, and this isn't to say that they're not high quality. Take a look and figure out who is best served by your animals. If you are looking at all your animals and all of them are banana, pastel banana, maybe a bell, those are probably not going to sell well on Morph Market. So posting them to Morph Market and expecting people to beat down your door to buy them and then saying that the market is dead, that's not really a good, accurate way to gauge the whole market. You're going to have way better luck at local shows, but also a lot of other competition at local shows.
So let's just hit the blend button on our thumbnail. So we'll talk about marketing in tough times, but you're exactly right about the market segments. Like the pet buyer who's going to be blown away by a pied or a banana probably has no earthly idea that Morph Market even exists. So yeah, trying to sell to them on Morph Market ain't going to cut it. And trying to sell a sunset in your local Facebook, local reptile enthusiast group, it might get some oohs and ahs, but it's probably not going to move very well there either. So there's different, the value of the different platforms is absolutely incredible. Let me, Tom, sorry, two things. I mix up who I do know balls and golems. I recognize that. The insights button, from a personal motivation, I look at that every day, and I look at my YouTube analytics every day. I don't know. I'm a firm believer in things that get tracked, get done better, whether it's in business, whether it's in life, whether it's gas mileage, whether it's calorie intake. If you track it, you're probably going to do it better. So I track my insights and my analytics daily. I love it. I recommend everybody else do that as well. If
you have a business, right? You have to be a creator.
Yeah. I think it's a creator or a business one. If you're a personal Instagram account, you need to. I don't think it gives you insights.
I did not know that. Well, then do it on YouTube or call yourself a creator or a business, because you just check.
All you have to do is check it.
It doesn't do anything.
It's kind of funny that way. But yeah, no, I find it very valuable and very motivational, but it also tells you what works well, or makes you wonder what's working well. You start targeting things on that.
When we first started, we would look at the highest the time of day our followers were most engaged, and we would post at that time. That was when we were posting 3 times a day. So
that I do that to this day. I do that on YouTube. It drives me nuts because I'm excited to get a video out, and it's like Sunday at 4 p.m. is going to be your high water mark. I'm like, well, it's Friday night. I'm ready to go on this. Got to wait till Sunday at 4. But it in theory, it kicks up that snowball and fires up the algorithms much faster, because your people are just popping on it and staying highly engaged versus sort of blindly casting out there for people.
Can I do 2 shout outs real quick?
Yeah, please.
So I just want to shout out Reddy's Urban Jungle. He is another contestant, and he's beating us right now. So everybody go and vote for us instead of Reggie. So, but his reels are amazing. They're really funny. Definitely go check them out. Reggie's awesome.
I did I vote at night because Steven votes in the morning so that we can.
Yeah.
So I just voted.
And then the second one was Morphforge had said, good decisions in your stock will always outweigh your reputation. If you list a desert ghost, exanthic clown, it will sell. I agree with that. I completely agree. But the only caveat I have on that is a new breeder, I'm willing to state like a hard line. I'll be a Sith and give an absolute. A new breeder is never going to, like a brand new breeder, never going to produce a desert ghost exanthic clown. Not when they're a new breeder. Once they're established and they've been there for several years and worked towards it, but they're not a new breeder anymore.
Maybe rice reptiles.
So I think that the thing with it is that realistically, a new breeder needs the reputation. Like you can buy, let's say, a visual sunset male and pair it to a bunch of breeder females your very first year. But if you have no reputation and you're trying to sell 100% het sunsets and nobody knows you, they're not going to believe you.
That's like the whole reason.
I love the Sunset Project.
The wanting to be reputable and insist that we have sunsets is what started our YouTube channel back up.
Mm-hmm.
All of what you've just said is the story of my past 2 years of being in YouTube, was so that
deal in absolutes.
No,
I apologize.
That's okay. So that people had to say either this guy's telling the truth, or this has been a 2-year scam to sell a double het.
Yeah.
Right? Like
that's exactly what it is.
Well, it could be, but I got to tell you, I got a price, but it's much higher than what a double het's going for. Like, why would I, and I know you're saying it tongue in cheek, Courtney.
Maybe. I guess we'll find out in a couple years.
Yeah, we're going to. That's right. So yes, we will. I'll take that couple year challenge. So let me throw out just a couple fun, debatable topics. I see a lot of people and some people, and like I'm asking this because I'm debating doing it myself. post everything that they have for sale on Morph Market. So whether it's a $60 Enchi or whatever they're going for right now, or a $2,000 Batman, it's all on there. To me, the negatives of that is it's a lot of work to, not a lot, but it's a pain to post those things. And then like in my mind, like who's going to pay for that shipping on a $60 Enchi? On the other hand, this time of year when you really can't ship, does the local morph store, like, do you reach local people? Do a lot of people search for like those stores the Morph Market stores in their area? Because my gut is the cheap stuff, I should be working on wholesale relationships or reaching the local, pet trade or local enthusiast group or shows. But I wondered, is it good value? Is there value in posting the low stuff on Morph Market?
There is. We have had several people reach. Now, the thing about the low stuff and the thing about people reaching out to you about the low stuff is you're going to get a lot more difficult sales. You're going to have people who say they're going to come by 3 weeks in a row and they never show up.
And you clear your entire schedule to like make sure you're ready. And then
so that is what we see a lot of.
And we could do a whole episode on effort versus revenue, or effort versus revenue, and we'll let that be for now, but maybe we should dive into that. I know you have jumped into it you guys have a video about that.
We do post even our low end stuff on Morph Market because we have if we're not hitting our limit, there's no reason not to.
Right.
We will have people that will reach out to us and they'll say like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to see you at a show," or "I'm local and I want to come. What do you have available?" And rather than taking pictures of every single animal and writing it all down, I can say, "Go check out Morph Market."
Right.
So
there you go.
Everything. We take pictures of everything and we post everything, and it has happened where we have sold. I know, like last maybe March, we sold a like $110 snake. They paid shipping, and she posted a picture on his birthday. Like she loves him. Yeah. She's a great customer, fantastic. And I shipped to Florida for that.
Yeah.
But we've also had people just come to the house.
The pet market, it's not huge, but a $600 snake is still a $600 snake. I'll take that any day of the week. There's one woman. Same thing. I get pictures on the snake's birthday. I got pictures of we're driving across, Nebraska or wherever. I'm like, man, this snake has it good. I think if it likes the woman.
We actually have a group chat of pet owners. A bunch of pet owners that they were like, "Hey, can I see some other animals you sold?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I had sent posts of a couple of people who had bought from us. They got together and they started a group chat of people who have bought snakes from us, and they all share updates with each other on
the animals.
Their animals. It's really cute.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Oh man, I'm a huge believer in build a community and you'll figure out how to monetize it, or you'll figure out where the value comes later. And to me, that's a perfect example of that. That's a built-in group of hot leads right there when your next batches come out, kind of thing. It's cultivated. So what about let's take Morph Market out of the mix for a minute. Okay. Best platforms for different tiers, or how to approach the platform. So Instagram, what's a selling strategy on Instagram? Because you got to be careful.
Oh yeah.
Selling on Instagram.
So I'm going to talk about two kind of marketing philosophy models. There is the inbound flywheel and there is the marketing funnel. So the marketing funnel is the 20, 30-year-old, probably even older than that, probably 50-year-old model that almost all marketing is based off of. And that is, you have a big funnel at the top, and you have to get people aware of your brand, aware of your product. So that's what I think Instagram is good for.
Awareness, engagement, conversion, and advocacy.
Yeah, yes.
That is from notes from one of your videos right there. I keep it staring at me right on my desk.
So I think the problem with Instagram when you're trying to
Tom's question.
Okay. Sorry. The problem with Instagram when you're trying to sell is that it is against Instagram and Facebook. It's against Meta's terms of service to advertise live animal sales. And if you post anything that is construed as an advertisement, as like, I have this animal for sale, it's $1,600, send me a DM. It, depending on what you do, it may get automatically flagged by an algorithm, or it might just get caught because somebody reports it. And that can get your account taken down. It has happened. Like,
a lot. Like,
yeah.
You see people with like 1.0 or 2.0 after their name, or backup, or whatever it might be. Like, that's like the big, like, scary monster in the social media ball python world. I could tell you, I've gotten 2 knocks just from using the word available. Like, now I use this show to just say to people, look, not everything I post is for sale, but it probably is. So check it out. If you see a picture of it or a reel of it, it's worth getting in touch with me about it. But yeah, you got to watch that. I think Courtney's clarifying, but yeah, Tom, there's tiers and payment levels. And actually, it's kind of brilliant because I just got bit by, I was posting animals, and they're like, if you want to post these, you're $240 more. And I'm like, oh, right.
I'm pretty sure you can post as many as you want, as long as they don't reach a certain like value. So you can post, $30 $100 and $100 animals, or
Yeah, I think the first tier caps out at either 7,500 or 8,500, and in inventory value is what you're allowed, is what you're based on. That's a good point. Yeah, you could post.
So Dynasty probably pays for this.
So I think that before that, we were talking about marketing to different tiers. Oh, Instagram. Instagram's good for awareness for your brand. If you are trying to convert somebody into a sale, if you have an animal, you can post the animal on Instagram.
Have them DM you.
Yeah. Do not say available. Do not say for sale. Do not put any dollar amount. Don't do anything where if you could read the description and you would be like, that's probably somebody selling an animal. Don't do it.
We've had people, like, it's usually like maybe a pet owner or like a smaller keeper will in our comments say like, oh, we have one of these. Well, or they'll say like, we're selling ours, and I delete the comment because I don't need the word selling.
Yeah, you don't need. No, you don't. And it's another one of those reputation things. Like, you almost got to be present long enough for somebody to go, man, if they've got 30 different snakes in 30 different days, maybe there's something, like, you start like looking at the bio, or you could put it in the bio, not selling, but you could put breeder.
Morph market. Yeah. You can do that.
Or here's my morph market link. I don't even put morph market anymore. I just put MM.
Same.
Because I don't know if it was morph market or available that got me, but man, I got close. They didn't take my account, but I was in the corner for a long time on Instagram.
So Instagram is for building awareness for your brand before you have something to sell. If you need to sell it, don't be posting. Like, you can post the animals, but don't be making ads on Instagram to try to get it to sell, even if it's not like a paid ad, like a post. Instead, what I think, if you're trying to sell pet animals, that there are 3 real ways. When we're talking about pet animals, we are the real person who's going to buy a pet. The best person that is served by an animal that's a $200 banana is somebody who does not have a ball python right now.
And the thing about that is they don't know that bananas go for $175. They see one animal and one price. So you can price those pets for what you think they are worth, because you're not going to see a pet owner say, hey, I can get a banana over there for $100. Why is yours $200? Because they see one snake for $200.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the pet shop model. Most, I hate to say it, it's just a convenient term. Most soccer moms that walk into the exotic pet shop have no idea that they can go, well, Morph Market says I can get it for this. No, they're going,
no.
Johnny's going to love it. What do we need for this thing? Let's get it.
Because that happened to us at our first show. I think we had a banana, just a single gene banana or a banana pastel or something listed at, it was like $215, and there was someone at the very next table that had the exact same snake for $175, and we're like, dang, should we take our price down? And we hadn't done it. Somebody came back by to buy it, and we were like, we're gonna be completely honest with you. You can get the same genes right there for less. And they were like, But that's not the same snake. It's
not the same, right?
It's like,
This
yeah,
one, right?
it didn't matter. They wanted that snake because they're pet owners. They're not going to breed it. They don't care what the morph is worth. They wanted that snake, and they thought that that snake was worth that value.
Yep. So,
and how about, let me ask you this, turning a little bit. So we got pets.
Mm-hmm.
We got the whale collectors, breeders, the 5-figure crew, the $100 crew. What about all the 98% of the rest of us? How in the world are any of us going to separate ourselves from the pack and differentiate ourselves? That's the catchy word, differentiation.
That's not the question I thought you were asking when I was going for the. Yeah. So I was going to say that we're actually, I was planning on doing it tomorrow, putting out a video on analyzing your data and who you sell to and what the different tiers are and how to track the different tiers of the type of people you sell to. Because something that we noticed that was really interesting is when we tracked what type of person we were selling to, whether it be established breeders, new breeders, potential breeders, pet owners, or wholesale, by just blown out of the water, new breeders and potential breeders are what we sold the highest number and the highest value.
Selling the dream, right? Like it's the dang, yeah, the carrot on the stick, selling that dream.
And we sold like a similar number of pet snakes, but it was for a much lower value.
Right.
So that means, okay, I make the most money. I'm doing the best right now, marketing to potential breeders and new breeders. I'm going to focus my stuff on those things. And if I notice that, well, I also sell a ton of money, a ton of money's worth of snakes to established breeders, and they, I sell the least number, then oh, well, that's the market I'm after. I want to establish.
Yeah, the highest revenue for the lowest effort or the biggest return on your effort. What you're, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're sort of discussing is the whole theory of CRM in a nutshell.
Steven's getting excited because you said CRM.
So it's a proven, those of y'all that don't know what CRM is, Steve, and y'all correct me along the way. Customer relationship management. I don't care if you're selling weddings, if you're selling snakes, if you're selling hot dogs from a street vendor, if you put the effort into it and you quantify who your customer is, you can figure out how to serve them best. So in my world, I'm applying the philosophies of CRM, similar to what you're talking about, Courtney. This person last year bought a banana het pied and a pied from me. Hey, how about when I get a clutch of pieds, so-and-so gets a personal email from Adam that, hey, you can, it's smart selling, but it's also good service. It's the old, I'll use the restaurant analogy. You can't just go selling a $20 glass of Cabernet to every person that walks in. But if they buy the $50 steak, they're going to enjoy the whole experience better if they buy that Cabernet. You're not taking advantage of them. They're happy.
He will buy your $50 steak all day, and then he'll pair it with a root beer. So,
well, it's my job not to patronize people that way.
It's mine.
I will silently nod in the background while I bring you your side of ketchup.
Yeah, and a bowl of ranch. One of the things on it is when you're looking at that summary of data, you actually, one of the, if you've been doing it like we have, which is only a handful of years, and we've only produced like a certain amount of snakes, we haven't produced hundreds of snakes yet. You want to look at your median on what you're selling to people, because if you're looking at your average and you just so happened to one time sell this ridiculously high value, then it's going to skew your data. You're going to have that outlier, and a median takes out the outlier. And for anyone who isn't familiar with it, that's your center of your data rather than the average.
Wholesale $25. You ran down to the local shop for. That's actually Gershon just said, man, I'm learning a lot tonight. Like that's a really important part or point to plan your world around, because you don't want to plan around the $25 sale, but you also don't want to plan around, for me, I'll use my number, the $2,000 sale. I've had both. a time or two, but the meat and the potatoes are in between there by a long shot. And the median is not that $1,000 average in that example, 45 to 50,000. So that's not the case at all.
Actually, I've been thinking about adding a new field to the stuff, a new metric to what we collect, and it is not ease of access, ease of service. So how many, if I'm rating it on a scale of like 1 to 3, on easiest to deal with, 3 being the most difficult, or even, maxing, if all of my pet owners are maximum effort, and I'm selling the animals for the least amount of money, maybe cutting down the number of pet clutches we're going to produce, because we know they take the most work, and now that's data that we think, like right now we've noticed a trend of specific people giving us a harder time versus other people being super easy. So I wanted to start tracking it and see if maybe it's just like 2 or 3 times that are stuck in our head, or if it is a trend.
Our most expensive sale we did was so easy, and he was so awesome to work with that we thought that he was going to scam us.
We waited like a month to
take the money out, because we were waiting. Like, he was amazing. Like, so easy.
Yeah,
I see it in work life, but I would see it in guitars too. Like, again, this rating system you're talking about, but then the highest end sales are like, boom, I want that. I know what I'm after. This is a fair price. Here's your stack of cash. And you're like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. And, there are things that we definitely don't mind. We don't mind negotiating. We don't mind providing extra pictures. We don't
part of the game, right? Yeah.
But one thing that we've noticed is sometimes when people are like, when you're like, oh, here are some extra pictures, and they're like, I don't like pictures in your hand. And I'm like, well, like, what do you mean? What do you want me to do? I don't have a light box. What do you want from me? And it's like, and that person's the one who defaults on their pay. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I do know. And look, I always try. First, I don't really believe in complaining because it doesn't do us any good, right? Like, philosophically, although it's perfectly natural to do, and I complain plenty, I promise. But I try and keep a bright outlook. But yeah, you're right. The reality is there are people that default on your payments. There are people that go dark, and you're like, and then you're left with this ethical conundrum of what's right for the customer, where's your patience level at, and then what are you going to do with this animal that's half paid for, that somebody's ducking you on, and you're, anyhow, that's all part of it too. We could do a whole different show on that. Speaking of something we could do a whole show on, Keith at Creative Genetics asked a while back, the age-old question, and let's not give it more than 5 or 6 minutes between the three of us. Breed for what you like, or breed for what you sell?
What I like. what I like that's like, there's things that we do to sell, but for the vast majority of the stuff, we're breeding it because I want to hold back all the animals, and Courtney makes me sell one.
Force it. I breed what I like, but it's also stuff that interesting kind of thing. When I first got my first snake, I bought it from Dynasty. I know I kind of teased them a second ago because they sell a very large amount of pet snakes, but that I was a pet owner, and I bought my first snake, and I sent Steven maybe 4 or 5 pictures, and I looked back, every single one of the pictures that I sent Steven had spider in it, except for the one that we purchased, which was Hidden Genoma, which is close enough. Apparently I loved spider. Yeah. I absolutely loved it. We don't breed spider. We have no interest in breeding spider because we don't believe it sells. So I guess breed what you like, unless it's something that doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell. I obviously, let's be, real just blatant here. There's no binary answer there. There's a shade of gray somewhere. It's of course a moving spectrum. Keith, in full transparency, Keith and I have done business together, and actually we traded. We haven't exchanged any. We've only exchanged snakes, not money. But Keith's a good dude, and so my take on it is, first off, as somebody who wants to make this my primary source of income, yeah, I got to breed what sells, but I also get my passion from breeding what I like. So I almost have 2 separate inventories. So down that hallway there is my snake room of my core breeding projects. Like that's my future dreams. Out here, everything for sale, snake in show inventory, morph market stuff, non-holdbacks out here. And that's a hodgepodge. That's a mix and match of what I think will sell or not. But the stuff inside the room is what I like and think will sell. So I'm working on that. But yeah, my answer would be I don't think that there's just a simple binary answer.
Yeah. I agree. I do think that it's a bit of both. I personally think that if you are approaching breeding ball pythons with the goal of like, it's a hobby, you're doing it for fun, and eventually maybe you might want to take it as a full-time business, I think breed what you like. You like a project, just keep breeding it, and it's like good to go. I agree. I completely agree with that.
That is what our answer should have been right there. Lindsay, I don't think we've met before. Pleasure to have you. You are exactly right, because I could tell you, like, I've kind of got a rule that once I hit that 300-400 gram mark, I'm probably holding it back. So like if it doesn't sell before then, I'm going to put that animal to use, especially if it's a male, because that suddenly is becoming an asset. You're exactly right. I would either capitalize think even higher or just cross out and say the key. Yeah, you're going to get, not only stuck is not the right word. You're going to be more passionate about what you sell because you believe in it, because you would keep it yourself. And if you do need to keep it, you're going to have a home for it. You're going to figure out a place to use it.
One thing that we want to be super careful about is not trying to breed genes out of snakes we bought. So if we bought an animal where we don't want to be like, it's like $30 cheaper because it has this gene that doesn't sell well and doesn't pair well, but we could breed that out.
Time versus money and effort.
That's exactly what, don't do that. Just don't buy that animal, pay the extra $50 and don't have a bunch of animals that you don't think you can sell and that you don't want to continue to breed.
Yeah. And I get so emphatic about it because at my core, I'm this cheap dude that always wants to think he's finding the value and like winning. And you're exactly right. Pay the $50 more and save the next 3 years of your life, not screwing around with every, whatever gene you don't want. Jason, thank you, man. Holy cow. And I voted for Peter. So
I was like, who's that?
All right. For the $20 and what's funny is I started this show saying I would do a 1 hour succinct, stay on topic ball python show. And I'm proud to say it's expanded with good content to 1 hour and 40, but there's no need to push these things, right? So, all right, Stephen and Courtney, well, actually hold tight while I could keep people's attention, because you have bottled up, lightning in a bottle to keep people here for a moment. Next week, those of y'all that didn't hear earlier, next week, it'll be a Wednesday night show, not a Tuesday night show, with Garrick DeMeyer, December 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern, same place, same time, just a different day next week. After that, Reggie's Urban Jungle will be on the show, Andrew from Redwood, and I hope Gershon is still in the audience, and I hope that Charlie's still in the audience. The 27th, we're just going to do like an end of the year party. There's not really going to be much form to it. I'll probably send out the link if you want to drop in. People do quick ins and outs and say hello, that kind of thing. And basically, if you've been on the show, or if you haven't and you want to be, or I don't know what, we're just going to have a good time. But Gershon is going to co-host that evening with me. We're going to do the Ed McMahon, Johnny Carson bit, but way better, not two old white dudes. That's so Gershon will be on. And as part of that night, I have challenged Charlie at Reagan Renee Royal Pythons, who's awful proud of his dad jokes. But what he doesn't know is that I pass the time writing snake puns. So we're going to have a little dad joke showdown. And I think I'm going to have to get Gershon to judge it. And it's going to be judged by if we can make the other person laugh. You laugh, you lose. That's it. I'm bringing the fire right there. See, I'd have a point right there, Stephen. You'd be down one right now.
Okay.
So we're going to do that, and I will say I know Charlie reasonably well. He is a smart, crafty dude. He's going to bring the fire that night. So that'll be on the 27th that night. I have no idea what January looks like. I have a little bit of an idea, but nothing official in January to announce. So that's what's going on. All right. So remind everybody that might not know what, like myself, what in the world you're talking about. What did you decide to do today?
Okay, so when we got up this morning, we knew that we needed to promote the show. So I made a promise on Adam's behalf that if he was going to shave either his beard or an eyebrow tonight in order to like drum up attention and get everybody like excited.
We posted our shaved reel today, so we figured we'd stick to the
not that kind of shaved.
No.
PG. But,
PG.
So from that, we did a survey on our Instagram story. If anybody wants to go in there right now, I'm going to be checking up results. So if you want to get one last little vote in there. And the survey was that one of them has to go. Adam's beard or his eyebrow is going to be gone. So we as a community get to decide because this is a teamwork project. And we ended up having, let me look and see how many people responded. All right. I'm waiting for it to load. Okay. So we have a total of 45 people voted. And there was 26 people voted to shave your eyebrow, and there was 19 people who voted to shave your beard. So the eyebrow wins at 58%.
And since if you tap out, Steven has to tap in. And I'm
we could oh
no, it's not charged. Oh, it's charged.
This is fantastic. So I have a couple thoughts. One being, I'm highly impressed that this thing, by virtue of more people wanting an eyebrow gone, means that people like this thing.
That's right. That is the
evidence. A lot of smack for this. Funny story. I was 23 the last time I shaved this. So this has been on my face 19 years. I don't know what's under it.
That makes it sound weird and gross.
I know. It's right there. But here's the interesting thing. One of the very few things is that I've had eyebrows longer than I've had this. So I really don't know what's under that. I am not going to shave an eyebrow. I was thinking maybe I got sort of the old man, who was that dude on 60 Minutes, Andy Rooney, he had some eyebrow. Maybe I could do a little trim here just for sport's sake.
All right. Looks like we got to do it.
I'll go. Oh, yeah. There you go. Take it away.
Why would you do that?
Oh, my God.
Was that worth it?
Yes, it was worth it. Oh, no, Ellie's awake.
Mine looks nice and tidy. You took your eyebrow off on my show. That's fantastic. Yeah. This is...
we are men of our word.
No, that was your word, not my word. Let's be clear on that topic first. Second, there's a woman in South Carolina currently questioning her life decisions right now. She may or may not be on the camera.
I guess I gotta do it too.
Oh my God. Go vote for these people. Snakes in the Fat Man. Put that in the reel tomorrow. And I don't know. Sometime when I'm not looking for consulting clients, maybe I'll join in the fun. As always, it's been a blast. I don't know how to top it. Garrick DeMeyer has a lot to live up to next week. Thank you all. Everybody in the audience, you're welcome, I think. I'm hitting the music.
I'm looking at you. Why?
Dude, where's my eyebrow?